Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
Hey everyone, Hybrid here, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Star Wars The Black Series ARC Trooper Battle Pack, featuring the 3 legendary ARC Troopers of the Battle of Kamino, ARC Commander Colt, ARC Commander Havoc, and ARC Commander Blitz. These 3 were seen in the opening 2-parter of Star Wars Clone Wars Season 3, and 2 of the 3 do not make it through the ARC, unfortunately. And I believe Blitz was never seen again after that, which kind of sucks because he is actually a really cool design. Dave Filoni is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so he got to do a Pittsburgh Steelers ARC Trooper, and as a local there, I do enjoy them as well, so really cool design. But these guys were insane figures to get back in the day in the 375 animated line, or at least I tried to. I'll share a story later on. But anyways, very, very cool figures. Welcome additions in the line. Let's go ahead and dig into the review and see what's going on here. And here's the 3-pack in the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. It's not very often we get a Black Series 3-pack. It's been a lot of 2-packs in the line, but 3-packs are fun. Something really, really cool going on with this one is that they are reintroducing the titling of Battle Pack. We haven't seen a Battle Pack in a long time, which is awesome. It is your standard Black Series type of 3-pack with a logo above a ginormous window showing our 3 troopers off nicely. Their names over here. Nice yellow accent coloring because it is from Star Wars The Clone Wars. Once more, ARC Trooper Battle Pack. Warning 4+ Hasbro over there. This side of the box features some cool artwork of the 3 ARC Troopers. This side features your wraparound window with a Black Series logo and a wraparound stripe. Around back, zoom-ins of that side art looking super duper cool. A bio about the Rancor Battalion in 5 different languages. Go ahead and pause and read whichever language best applies to you. Another Black Series logo, a bunch of legal stuff, Disney and Hasbro logos, barcode, more legal stuff, and no hanger tab up top. That would be an ambitious thing to hang on a peg, so that makes sense to me. Anyway, really, really cool looking set. Can't wait to open these guys up and see everything going on in the box. Let's go. Here are ARC Troopers out of the packaging, and gosh, they look oh so cool. 3 very different ones. Of course, we have Colt and Havoc and Blitz, all very cool clones from the Kamino arc. So, in the package, they come with 6 blasters. Each character gets their 2 blaster pistols. I'm going to be honest, that feels cheap. So we're going to put them in Colt's holsters. The other 2, I have already holstered their pistols, but we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So in the ARC, you actually see these clones use, they always kind of have their pistols holstered, and they have the short, like, DC-15 rifles, and I think, given that these are entirely reused sculpts, just new paint, I cannot believe the budget wasn't there, considering that Fives and Echo and Jesse were all able to come with the standard blasters in addition to their pistols, so just a little bit frustrating, to be honest. Another thing that's frustrating is Hasbro refuses to update the ARC Trooper mold. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't mind the legs. I think the legs are fine from the 2020 Stormtrooper. I think the torso's fine. The floating overlay wouldn't do anything for me, considering that we then also add the pauldron over top. But I think giving it the newer biceps, so the shoulder pads get out of the way, would just give us much better articulation, and Hasbro refuses to do that. They also refuse to give us the left-handed trigger finger, which they've sculpted for the 2023 sculpt, meaning they're giving us pistols that this guy can't hold because he doesn't have a trigger finger in the left hand. It's just ridiculous. And at least when they give you the normal rifle, you can at least be like, well, I'll have him hold the rifle and not the pistols. But when you only give me the pistols, it's really immensely frustrating. So I will call it out every time I see it, and here I am, calling it out. However, I will share a story. It is really cool finally getting to hold an ARC Trooper Colt action figure. I remember way back in the day of the 2011 Clone Wars action figure line, the blue Captain Rex packaging. Every time we would ever go to Walmart, they were loaded with peg warmers. They had the battle droid, the Mandalorian police officer, some droidicas, Sometimes there'd be some Space Gear Anakins floating around, but that was generally it. All the cool characters were always gone. I remember one trip to Walmart. There he was. All the peg warmers and Commander Colt hanging on the peg. So I did my duty. Mom, please. He's $10, please. I've been a good boy, Mom. And what'd she say? No, I hate you, Hybrid, no. Mom, please. He's ARC Trooper Colt. It's the first time I've seen a new figure at Walmart in months. Please, Mom. No, I hate you, no. That's word for word exactly how I'm recalling this. So I never got ARC Trooper Colt, and I never saw him again. And, sad story. But here I am, finally getting a Commander Colt. So, yeah, bet you didn't see that coming, Mom. But gosh, he looks cool. Gosh, I'm leaving that in. I'm not cutting that out. Gosh, he looks so cool. I mean, outside of the trigger finger, being a problem. That's the other thing too. Is like Hasbro, the sooner you make the mold, the sooner you can reuse it. Like, I'm not against reuse, but like, it's like, why do it wrong over and over and over and over and over again, and then maybe fix it like when you're all out of ARC Troopers? Like, just fix it. Just do it, Yeah, just frustrating. But Colt looks excellent. Really, really digging him. I'm going to be honest, none of these clones have I taken to memory, so there could be very minor paint app variances, but I'm going to be honest, these are some pretty glup shitto clones in the grand scheme of things, so I'm going to retain that. But Colt looks excellent. A lot of nice gray going on his helmet. He's got the kind of like markings on the chin area. Look really, really good. Nice helmet. This one does not seem to have any warping going on, which is nice to see. I like the red on the pauldron and then gray on this side. The red on the gauntlets look excellent. Same as the red and gray striping on the comma. Looks oh so nice. I like that you actually get that little bit of like tan on the leg armor peeking out through the gray of the outer wraps of the ARC Trooper boots. Looking really good. ARC Troopers have always come with the rubber comma. Wish it was soft goods, it would get out of the way, but the harnesses for the holsters and pouches overlay that, and I think the soft goods one would probably get smushed and, maybe not sit naturally because of the belts over them, so I kind of understand why they do it. They do generally get out of the way for most posing, so not a ginormous problem, but something I'll point out, and yeah, he just looks really, really good. Setting him back, let's go ahead and take a look at Havoc. I'm only going to do articulation on one of these guys because they're all the same body, but it's all right. That's just how we're going to run this one. He looks great. He's blue. As far as I know, he's not in the 501st, though, so interesting there. But he has some very nice 501st looking blue. Mine has a small warp of the helmet. It's a little bit higher on this side and a little bit lower on this side on the top. And you can kind of tell with that fin, it's definitely like flares up a little bit in the back. It is not the worst. And of the three of them, if I could have a QC on any of them, he's the one I'd pick because he's really, really somewhat obscure and goes down like a bitch. Let's be fair. He's just shot in the hangar. At least the other, well, I guess Blitz makes it, but Colt has a cool death. He kisses a goth girl in the episode. But yeah, I really do like how he turned out too. I like the line work on his gauntlets. It's just very, very subtle and eye-catching. I also like on these guys, they all have the painted buttons on their wrist communicators. The top one green, the next one down is red, and then the bottom two are white. And on this guy, he just didn't get the bottom two painted, whereas on the other ones, they do add that little bit of white, so they're consistent. That's really nice to see, and just looks really good. I like the gray comma with the little blue highlights on it, the blue knee pads look very nice. And same as Colt on the boots, the tan squares in there look great. And then here we have Blitz looking nice, very standout. Blitz is Pittsburgh Steelers inspired, as I mentioned. Dave Filoni is a Pittsburgh Steelers guy. Another bit of information is gosh, I'm totally blanking on his droid name. Is it R3? The Traitor Astromech droid from Clone Wars Season 1, the Duel of the Droids arc. The black and gold, Goldie was his nickname from Ahsoka. He's also a Pittsburgh Steelers droid color scheme, so Dave Filoni likes to slip him in wherever they can. He's got the diamonds on the comma, looking very, very nice. and he's got his yellow and then not quite black, but dark gray coloring going on. It's a very nice pop. I like the yellow stripe on the side of the helmet going around. He looks very, very good. And yeah, he's got the yellow stripes going down the fronts of the shins. He doesn't have the tan going on inside the squares. They are just all that gray color. Again, I don't know these guys to memory to tell you if it's right or wrong, but objectively, for a Black Series, for what I expect from a Black Series, I do have a pretty high bar for the line, but, you know, for what I expect to get in a Black Series figure, he looks really nice and looks the part, and I'd have nothing bad to say. I guess he's the one I'll run through the articulation with. These ARC Troopers all have their functioning range finder. Love to see it. And then the double ball neck system, which allow you to turn the head and pivot it and look that far down and that far up. You don't get insane range because the pauldron does hinder that somewhat, but you get enough to have them expressive and looking around. The shoulder pads on the 2020 Clone Sculpt are a little bit frustrating. You can raise the arm that high, but as you see in there, it is gnashing that shoulder pad all to hell. At least it's hidden by the comma, but you can get them up into a T-pose. There is a nice deep butterfly joint in there as you bring it back down. I guess it flattens out all right. We're probably all right. You can raise the arms that far forward and that far back before they start to hit on the pauldrons. And then there's no bicep swivel in the 2020 Clone Sculpt, but the elbows go to 90 degrees and then swivel there, a little past 90 degrees even. And then 360 on the wrist, with the left hinging in and out and the right hinging up and down. And then there's the mid-torso ball joint, allowing him to crunch that far forward, a little bit back, get some side to side, and some pivot in there, which is awesome. The legs can do that far splits, which with a rubber skirt is really nice. You can kick, that far forward. Again, rubber skirt and belts, that's pretty good. A little bit back, there's an upper thigh swivel hidden in there, and then there's the single jointed knees, which go well past 90, and then swivel at the knee, and then the feet can point really far down, really far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get some really good stances with both feet flat on the ground. And that is the same for all three, so I really have nothing to complain about. Just to do a brief size comparison, the ARC Trooper mold does stand up the same height as your normal Clone Trooper, so no need to compare with those. And here is Colt with the Goth Girl that I mentioned from the episode, and a Clone Wars Anakin is a very fitting figure to include in this lineup. The clones, yeah, they're a little bit bulkier than your average 6-foot-tall human, you know, because of armor. That makes sense. These guys scale very nicely with the rest of the line. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the ARC Trooper Battle Pack? I'm pretty happy with it. There are some things to complain about. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Super happy to finally have a Commander Colt action figure. Thanks, Mom. But outside of that, you know, these guys all look really nice. They have great paint apps. It's frustrating that you still get some helmet warping issues, although Havoc was really the only issue I had. The other two turned out pretty nice. There are just frustrations with getting the same issues over and over and over and over again. You know, this set does truly feel like something of the modern Black Series team. So, you know, the just knowing some behind the scenes of Hasbro and how things work, you know, when the people at Hasbro sit down at the table and say, let's make this action figure, and they start designing it, it's usually an 18 to 24 month turnaround, as I understand. And so now that, you know, we've had Mr. Stevie and Brandon and Eric and the current team at the lead, the people that we generally like seeing on the live streams, they've been there long enough that this is definitely something that they had something to do with. So it's just frustrating after years of saying, gosh, this mold needs just a few things. And a lot of people want the ARC Trooper mold totally overhauled. Honestly, a left-handed trigger finger would fix it for me, would be enough for me, personally. I don't ask for a ton, you know? And the fact that there's 3 figures in the box, they all come with pistols that they cannot carry in one of their hands correctly. See, they're all cockeyed a little bit there because they can't get their trigger finger in the trigger, in the, you know, the trigger hole. It's just frustrating that we've been complaining about it for years, and it happened threefold in one box. You know, this set, I paid a little extra to get it early, so I'm happy to review it, you know, but I think of the MSRP, and it's like, you're not even really getting a deal. I kind of miss when, you know, 3-packs or 2-packs for, you know, a couple dollars off to incentivize you buying multiple figures. It's just not the case here. You're paying for 3, you know, $27 figures, and, you know, they can't even fix things that we've complained about for the longest time. So, gonna be honest, that is my big critique, is I wish they would polish up this mold a little bit. Other than that, gosh, these guys do look excellent. They have some shelf presence, and I gotta be honest, I've been asking for obscure clones. Here they are, you know, so I can't be mad there. I'm genuinely shocked that we got these before Vale's Toys did them. I really figured these guys were going to happen from Vale's Toys before Hasbro. Vale's Toys got me all the Umbara 501st. They got me, you know, I had a custom Waxer and Boyle already, but they got most people Waxer and Boyle. They've given us so many of the Wolfpack clones. You know, Hasbro hasn't even touched any of those. And I really figured that we were going to end up getting these guys from Vale's, and Hasbro beat them to the punch, so that's really cool too. But yeah, these guys just, they look great, but man, a few things could have them go from like great to perfect, and perfect is a very high bar, and they're close, but it's just little simple things. So that's frustrating. I hope we're heard. I hope that they polish it up a little bit for the next release. Of course, then that's going to make everyone that came before look worse, so I don't know. But I want them fixed. I want them better. Hasbro, you can do better than this. You've made better figures than this, so fix them, please. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Do I recommend this set? Despite some issues, I do. They're cool. I think they're neat. And that's where I'm at. So thanks again for hanging out. I'll catch you next time. May the Force be with you. Until then, hope you all go on and have a great day. Bye.